Hello and welcome back to our very first OX5 property blog of 2019. It's an interesting blog this time. We're going to be looking at market conditions for 2018, what we've experienced so far and what we're expecting for 2019. And similarly, we've now got the completion data for Q3 of last year, because obviously, as we know, the land registry data is always 1 quarter behind. So Rob, firstly, let's crunch the numbers.
Yes.
Talk to us.
So, looking at Q3 completions, as from the land registry data that we've got. So, in 2017, Q3, there were 99 completions. In Q3 2018, they were up to 103 completions. Not a massive.
Wow, 4 more.
An extra 4 completions.
So basically static.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
pretty much the same,
That's
which is probably against what people are reading.
Yeah,
in the
that's
media.
true.
I mean,
that's true. There's a lot of media doom and gloom. Now, this is because the media is London centric, and so they're the market's awful, the market's awful. But actually, we've had 4 more completions in OX5. So
it's really not as doom and gloom as you would think,
No,
which is good. Then just looking at the actual average house prices as well. Again, all of these stats for OX5. I'm not looking at Oxfordshire as a whole. This is just Kidlington
and the villages and
that sort of thing.
Yeah,
exactly. So Q3 2017, average price was 385,000 with a bit of pocket change in there as well. And Q3 2018 was £401,488. So
gone up by
again,
£6,000 average.
Yeah. So again, it's gone up.
That's really bizarre because obviously the sentiment here in Kidlington and also the villages is that the market may have slipped back slightly, but obviously the land registry completion data tells us another story. Now in that though, we're talking about only 104 properties. So I'm aware personally of 5 properties over $1 million that completed. It's quite a high volume.
I had a little look as well at where this data and sort of any anomalies in the data, and there were, I think we had 5 or 6 properties within OX5 that completed in excess of $1 million in 2018, whereas looking at 2017 there was only 1. There was also another major factor which has come out of that, is that the co-op opposite our office here, it was completing in, I think it was September or October, and completed for 3.5 million or so. So again, that has a massive skewing of the data that we.
So what's going to be really interesting is obviously in our next quarterly review, we'll have all the land registry data for the whole of 2018. So we'll have a bigger data set, which then helps to eradicate the anomalies. So we'll be able to actually compare in the next review the whole of 2018 versus the whole of 2017, just to see exactly what the market did. Now, perhaps because the data actually becomes available before the quarter's up, it might be that we do a review of the 2018 market versus 2017 market before we do our quarter review for end of Q1.
We should get the data from land registry for the whole year come at least February, beginning mid-Feb. So by the end of Feb, we will have a year review vlog that we'll be putting out as well, which should be good.
That's really interesting. So Rob, talk to me about developments and stuff. We've already talked about the co-op briefly with its enormous sale price. That's going to be 6 houses, 53 houses?
I think it's 56 in total. I'm staring at my notes, but 54 flats in total. Okay. So there's going to be a significant amount of flats, 1 and 2 bed flats that are coming onto the market.
But it's all going to be rented through private social
This is what we've heard, There's a lot of chatter over what's actually going to be happening with them at the moment. But the main bit of chatter that we're hearing is that they're all going to be rented out privately. So they're not going to be going on to estate agents and that sort of thing potentially, or letting agents either locally. They're all going to be done via
a housing association,
which will be it's an interesting standpoint. Useful if you've got a flat locally, because at least you're not having a huge amount of competitors if you're trying to sell.
Good point.
If you are, however, a landlord, what's that
Supply
going to do
demand,
to the sort of the value or the desirability of your flat? Obviously, we will keep a very close ear to the ground. When we know fully what's happening, then we'll obviously update you guys. But really, just looking at it, they've only just started work in the last 2-3 months, so we just don't know yet.
We've got a long way to go.
There's a long way to go.
So there's other developments as well earmarked. So there's 2 more flat developments in the High Street alone that are in planning stage at the moment. Obviously, the Oxford Road there are flats going up everywhere. There's flats on the Bicester Road being built. It just seems to be flat city at the moment. We'd love your thoughts about all these developments that are going on, whether you're pro or against. I know a lot of younger people are pro the developments, obviously thinking it might help make apartments more affordable, supply and demand balance. But obviously there's a big swathe of the community that clearly and understandably are resistant to perhaps the change in the market. So that's interesting. Any more stats that are worth sharing with our followers?
Those sort of the big ones. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in really quarter one of this year.
Yeah,
that's really
that's going to be the big tell ahead of the dreaded Brexit, because obviously anyone who's interested in the housing market locally will know it's been affected by Brexit. So Rob, what are your thoughts on how the next 3 months are going to go, and then ahead for the rest of 19?
So the next 3 months will be a little bit more stagnant than they have been previously. You're not going to see big swathes of growth in the next 3 months, leading up until the end of March, when we finally know what the deal is and what happens when we're out, and all these sort of question marks that surround the market at the moment. Now, one important thing is that before any big political change, before a referendum, before a election, that sort of thing, the market always holds its breath. Traditionally, that's happened every single election as far as we can track back. So we know that the market is going to be stagnant. That's not going to be a surprise. Yeah. What is going to be interesting is what happens after Brexit. Many property experts, including ourselves, are saying that the housing market is not going to crash. It is going to increase. Some are saying that there may not be a lot of change this year, but on average, people are saying it's going to go up for about 1 to 3%.
Yeah,
not a huge.
Which is not high. I mean,
growth.
when you've got inflation, inflation's generally 2 to 2.4%, that neck of the woods. Yeah. So effectively, house prices will just about follow inflation. I mean, these are predictions going forward, and there are an amazing amount of market forces that can affect things either positively or negatively. BBC being one of them. So we'll see what happens, and like I say, it's going to be an interesting journey.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. Yeah. So we'll see what that brings. We'll have the statistics for you by the end of February for the whole of 2018. So we'll do a comparison between 2017 and 2018, so you knew where things stand. And we'll speak to you soon.
Brilliant. Thank you ever so much for watching. Any comments, anything you want us to cover next time, please do put them below. We're very, very happy to hear from you. And we'll see you the next time. Cheers, bye.